At my graduation dinner, my mother's voice cut through the celebration, sharp and cold. "I wish you were never born," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. That single sentence shattered something inside me, but it also started to build something new. My childhood was a landscape of emotional neglect. Home was never a safe harbor. My mother's affection was a gift reserved exclusively for my brother, while my father's words were a constant stream of criticism. Every minor mistake I made was magnified, every small misstep a reason for a lecture. If I spilled a glass of water, it was a catastrophe. If I forgot to do a chore, I was lazy and useless. Meanwhile, my brother could do no wrong. His mistakes were swept under the rug, his failures explained away. My achievements, on the other hand, were invisible. Good grades, school awards, athletic victories, they all passed without a word of praise. I spent so many nights crying into my pillow, wondering what was so wrong with me. I learned early on to build walls around my heart, to not show how much their indifference hurt. This emotional armor I wore at home followed me to school. I became quiet, a ghost in the hallways. My teachers saw my intelligence. They praised my work, but their words felt hollow because the people who were supposed to care the most didn't. I poured all my pain and loneliness into my studies, becoming a top student, thinking that maybe, just maybe, academic success would finally earn their approval. It didn't. Not even at my graduation. There was no proud smile, no congratulatory hug, just a sense of obligation. After college, I worked tirelessly, driven by a deep need to be. I found a good job and finally achieved financial independence, hoping that my success in the adult world would change how they saw me. But nothing changed. My father remained controlling, questioning my decisions, my spending, my life choices. My mother was as cold and distant as ever. Despite it all, I continued to be the respectful daughter. I called them, visited on holidays, and swallowed my hurt, telling myself this was just how they were. Then, I got a huge promotion at work. It was a major milestone, a testament to years of hard work. My company wanted to celebrate, and I was to host an official dinner. A small, persistent voice in my head whispered that I should invite my parents. Deep down, a part of me, the little girl who just wanted to be loved still, craved their approval. I thought, maybe this time, seeing me surrounded by respected colleagues, they would finally be proud. I extended the invitation. At first, they ignored it. Then, at the very last minute, they called and said they would come. My heart pounded with a mix of dread and a flicker of hope. I spent the day preparing, my stomach in knots. I chose the finest restaurant, Del Monaco, a place that radiated success. I put on my best outfit, a power suit that made me feel more confident than I was. Standing in front of the mirror, I gave myself a pep talk. You are strong. You are successful. Their opinion doesn't define you. But as I headed to the restaurant, I knew I was lying to myself. They arrived late. Of course. My mother swept in with a look of sheer disapproval, her eyes scanning the elegant room as if it were beneath her. My father followed, his expression a familiar mask of disapproval. I greeted them with a polite smile, trying to keep my voice steady. Mom, Dad, I'm so glad you could make it. The criticism started immediately. This place is too extravagant, my father grumbled. You're just wasting money. My mother chimed in. The decor is quite tacky, isn't it? I bit my tongue and led them to the table where my colleagues were already seated. I made the introductions, my cheeks burning with embarrassment as my parents offered curt nods and no warmth. Throughout the dinner, They were a black hole of negativity. My colleagues, trying to be polite, praised my work ethic and leadership. My father just waved his hand dismissively. "Oh, she's always been stubborn." When my boss mentioned the significance of my promotion, my mother scoffed lightly. "It was just luck, I'm sure." Each word was a small paper cut on my already wounded soul. I kept a forced smile plastered on my face, but inside, I was crumbling. The conversation became stilted, the air thick with awkward silence. To fill the void, my father started bringing up my past mistakes, stories from my childhood meant to paint me as foolish and incompetent. My mother would then elaborate, exaggerating incidents until they bore little resemblance to the truth. And that's when something inside me snapped. A quiet but powerful voice rose from the depths of my being and said, "Enough." For the first time in my life, I looked them directly in the eye, my gaze unwavering. The forced smile was gone, replaced by a calm, raw honesty. I let the silence hang for a moment before I asked the question that had haunted me my entire life. "Were you ever proud of me?" Even once, the table went silent. My parents were stunned. They had never seen this side of me. The quiet, obedient daughter was gone. My father stammered, trying to justify their behavior. "We just wanted the best for you. We were hard on you to make you strong." My mother added, "We were just angry sometimes. Parents get angry." I let their excuses hang in the air. Then I responded, my voice low but clear. "Anger lasts a moment. A bad mood lasts a day. It doesn't last a lifetime." My mother's face fell. My father opened his mouth, but no words came out. He had run out of explanations. I held up a metaphorical mirror to their faces. "You gave me more pain than love," I said, not with accusation, but with a simple, heartbreaking clarity. They had no response. In that moment, I wasn't their little girl anymore. I was a woman who had finally found her voice. "I don't blame you," I continued, feeling years of buried hurt finally being released. "But I need you to know that you didn't build me. You tried to break me." The shock on their faces was real. For the first time, I saw something other than criticism in their eyes. My father dropped his gaze to his hands, his shoulders slumped in what looked like shame. My mother's eyes welled up, a flicker of guilt finally breaking through her icy exterior. I calmly placed the credit card on the table to cover the bill. They both started to speak, to say something, but shame had stolen their words. I stood up, feeling taller than I ever had in my life. I felt steady, confident, and free. "I'm not the girl who needs your approval anymore," I sighed softly but with unshakable conviction. As I turned to leave, my mother's voice, fragile and small, called after me, "Please, just give me a hug." I stopped and turned back. In her eyes, I saw a storm of regret. My own eyes reflected my past pain, but also my newfound strength. I slowly shook my head. "No, Mom," I said, my voice gentle but firm. "I don't need comfort from anyone now. I've learned how to comfort myself." The look of devastation on her face was profound. My father, the man who never showed emotion, struggled to hold back tears. I turned and walked toward the exit, my steps firm and even. For the first time, I wasn't running away from them. I was walking away from the past they had created for me. And in that moment of walking away, I had the strongest realization of my life. Sometimes the people who break you, the ones who were supposed to build you up, accidentally forged the strongest version of you.